Well, in just a few days, the Supreme Court is set to hear arguments over Texas's controversial abortion law. Its decision will impact the fate of a measure that's halted nearly all abortions in the Lone Star State. The Texas heartbeat law bans abortions after about 6 weeks of pregnancy before many women know they're pregnant. It also places enforcement in the hands of citizens who could be rewarded $10,000 for bringing lawsuits against anyone aiding an abortion. Twice now, the High Court has allowed that law to stay in place, setting the stage for a fast-track final decision after hearing the case on November 1st. Well, here with us now is Penny Nance, President and CEO of Concerned Women for America. Penny, nice to see you again here on Faith Nation. Penny, I know that you've been following this case. What do you see here? What do you expect? Do you think the Supreme Court will allow the Texas law to stay in place?
Well, let me just say, first off, that the way this law works is really taking the government out. It creates a private cause of action that allows a woman or perhaps the father or the grandparents to sue the abortionist. If the abortionist chooses to do an abortion after there's a fetal heartbeat, which is 6 to 8 weeks, most women do know they're pregnant, John, at that point. I've had 2 children, and your body lets you know pretty early that that's occurring. So, yes, there's an outside chance she wouldn't know, but most people do. And so the question then is, what does the law allow, and what does this really kind of a workaround in which it takes it out of the hands of the government and puts it in the civil court? I'm excited to hear what's going to be said at the Supreme Court, but I do want to point out to your viewers that the even bigger case is coming December 1st, which is the Dobbs case, which runs directly up against Roe and decides whether or not any state can limit abortion pre-viability. It's about the government in the second case and only about civil courts in the first case.
Of course, you just mentioned the Dobbs versus Jackson case in Mississippi. The Supreme Court scheduled to hear that in December, as you just mentioned. All of this has happened against the backdrop of the FDA considering in-person requirements for chemical abortion drugs. Penny, if the FDA does approve that, what concerns do you have about that potentially happening?
Well, we're already seeing states running against the chemical abortion laws because they're seeing women hurt. It is very dangerous. It's 4 times more dangerous to have a chemical abortion than a surgical abortion. We've already seen young women die because they secretly took the pill without their parents' knowledge. The baby died in utero, and then their body didn't expel it. And this is, kind of graphic. But they died. Particularly one case people are talking about, she died of sepsis. So no one knew. The parents didn't know, and so this has become a really tipping point, and important tip of the spear on the abortion issue, and something that we're going to have to work through. I have deep concerns with the FDA not allowing parents to be able to be in the middle of this. We've got a lot of concerns about what is happening to young women and, frankly, their safety.
Penny, there is a push by a bipartisan group of lawmakers on the Hill to add women to the selective service. I know you recently signed a letter to Congress telling lawmakers not to draft our daughters. What's the likelihood that women actually are added to the draft?
Well, this is something we are really in a pitched battle about, and our Young Women for America leaders around this country are very upset. This will require, under the NDAA, for young women to join selective service and to be put in line if there is a draft. The time to have this conversation is right now, not when there actually is a draft that occurred, which it could occur. And so chief childbearing years are 18 to 26. What about women that are already moms at that stage? And we see it at Concerned Women for America and Young Women for America is further efforts by the gender woke warriors to take away any differences in sex, to make the military completely sex blind and not allow them to make decisions even about deployment and the kind of work that women would do if they are actually drafted. So this is a big issue, and we are seeing a lot of energy behind it with our young members. We think that
Penny,
we welcome
unfortunately, Penny, we are out of time.
Thank you.
Penny, I'm sorry, I have to wrap up. Penny Nance with Concerned Women for America, thank you so much for your insights today.
Thank you.